Good morning, good afternoon, and a huge welcome to today's Postgrad Insights. Now, wherever you are around the world, this session will be brought to you by Kingston University in London, and this is a live session. So if you are watching on demand, please don't try to submit questions on YouTube or on the postgrad.com website because it won't be seen. If you do have any issues or any questions or any concerns, please email myself, Gareth at postgradsolutions.com. Just before we do hand you over to Kingston University, just a few house rules and what today will cover. So why you should use postgrad.com to find your perfect postgrad program. That'll be coming up towards the end of the session. A chance for you to win a £500 bursary off your tuition costs. Details of upcoming Postgrad Insights this week. This is part of a festival week. And we will have a presentation from Kingston to follow shortly. If you have any questions, if you have any discussions that you'd like to have around this session, please put it in the chat and Q&A facility on Zoom. If you're watching on social media, please put it in the chat facility also. But for now, I'd like to hand you over to James from Kingston University. James will be taking over for the next 20 to 30 minutes, and then I'll be back for a Q&A towards the end. If there are any technical issues or it doesn't work properly from your side, it could just be, we're having a few technical issues from our side. So please don't worry, we will send you the on-demand video. And if you have any questions after that, email myself. But for now, James, over to you.
Thank you so much for all of you joining us today. We're delighted to talk to you about postgraduate studies at Kingston University. We have today a presentation about Kingston University, about Kingston the town, and we have an opportunity to speak to members of staff in Kingston University. I'm joined today by Tado in our international recruitment team and Alison in our UK recruitment team. So please do, we would be delighted to answer any questions you have about Kingston University, any questions you have about the courses that we offer, any questions about coming to London to study. We'll do our very best to help you. So as Gareth mentioned, there is an option to add questions in the Q&A section. We will ask, please, we have a presentation for you now, so if you hold your questions until after the presentation, because we hope that it's going to cover the majority that you're going to want to know about postgraduate study with us. But if you have any burning questions, please don't hesitate to put those through, and we will do our best to answer as many as we can today. But bear in mind, of course, that we won't be able to answer any individual questions about your ongoing application at Kingston or relating to your personal circumstances. But by all means, I say, if you have anything that you want to ask us, feel free to ask, and we may need to pick up that outside the webinar. So again, I will say thank you very much for joining us. The presentation is going to start with a quick video on Kingston University, and I'll be telling you more about the opportunities at Kingston and what you can expect.
Hi, James. Just quickly, I don't think we're seeing your screen. So if you'd just like to share your screen.
Oh, I'm terribly sorry, everyone. I do apologize.
That's okay.
Thank you, Gareth. Let me make sure that is up. I'm so sorry, everyone.
That's perfect.
It will be great to be successful, to discover something new. But what success might mean to me could be different to you. I want to be inspired to think, to be challenged, to be debated, and yes, to go and study at a uni that's top rated. But being ranked amongst the best, although obviously a good start, is not the be all and end all, or what sets us apart. It's about studying with enthusiasm, with passion and with heart, and knowing when you come to leave, you've really played your part.
So thank you, everyone. So we've got lots to talk about today, but I would like to start by talking about Destination Kingston and why you would choose to come to London and to come to Kingston to study. We're very conscious that committing to postgraduate study, it is a huge commitment that you're going to be making in terms of your time and financially as well. And we think that there are lots of advantages of the destination of London. London is an expensive place to live, but we think that there are going to be lots of reasons why this is going to stand out for you as your best option for postgraduate study. So London has superb transport links, making its attractions easy to explore and discover for yourself. You see some of them in the slide here, but London is a very popular tourist destination and has historical and cultural interests that may fit your interests as well. It's just a short train ride between Kingston and central London, giving you the opportunity to live, work, play in London while undergoing your studies at Kingston. London is arguably one of the most culturally diverse capitals in the world, so we welcome 8 million visitors per year from all over the world, and it's easy to understand why London continually has been rated the best city of the world for its cultural diversity. One of the largest financial centres in the world is London, and it is a leading destination in terms of business and Fortune 500 companies. More than half of the UK's top listed companies and 100 of Europe's 500 largest companies have their headquarters in London, providing you an opportunity to work and find placements during your studies. This is really important for our postgraduate students, and we understand, especially internationally, because it's going to give you the opportunity to have the best range of jobs available for you when you finish your studies and after you are looking for a job after your graduation. London has a considerable impact on arts, commerce, education, entertainment, fashion, healthcare, and media. So you'll never be short of new things to experience and get involved in. You have a chance to experience a calendar full of events. Things are happening all year round in all places and in all sectors. And you'll get the opportunity to reflect the city's mix of cultures, food, music, art. The city offers entertainment for every taste, interest and budget, whether you're looking to go to the West End Theatre, go see live music, visit a museum or art installations or restaurants, bars or nightlife. There's always something new to discover in London. I myself came to London to study, and I found it had a real positive impact on my lifestyle. I was able to find places that suited my interests and find other people that shared my interest in music and in culture and in art. So coming to London gives you the advantage of being on the doorstep of some of the most exciting things happening in all of these areas. London is also one of 4 World Heritage Sites and countless iconic landmarks. So London has 3,000 parks and has earned the city 16th out of 100 in terms of the quality of outdoor experiences. So up next, we're going to be hearing from one of our current students, Kaylin, about some of the things that surprised her when she first arrived to study in London.
Hey guys, so today I wanted to talk to you about some of the things that took me by surprise when I moved to London. So obviously one of the biggest things that kind of shocked me was just how big London really is. There are so many different parts to it and different parts of the city that you could never really scratch the surface of, even if you've lived here for a long time. And I'm hopeful that I'll get to have more of a chance to explore it once lockdown's over, of course. And when it comes to some of the just ways of life in London, the first thing that for me I definitely noticed was how air conditioning isn't as much of a common thing, which was definitely a bit tough at first because I also come from a drier climate in the United States, so the humidity also kind of took me by surprise. But now I really enjoy the time of year, which maybe my opinion will change once summer comes by, but by then I'll have invested in a good fan, so I'm not too worried about it. Now, another thing I heard a lot when I told people I was going to move to London is that the weather is terrible. People were telling me it's always gray and it's always super dismal, and to be fair, it can be pretty rainy here, but there have been a lot of nice days since I've been here, and I also don't really mind the rain too much, so I've been enjoying it so far, and it really helps that, especially in a spot like Kingston, there are a lot of beautiful green parks and places to visit, and a lot of very beautiful countryside that you can visit with just a short train ride. So another thing that I was kind of surprised about when I moved to London is that closing hours tend to be a bit earlier than I expected. When you visited a bigger city like New York or perhaps Los Angeles, you kind of expect things to be open a lot later. And maybe this is more the case for central London, but definitely in Kingston things do close a bit earlier, which is actually pretty nice. It's a good way to help motivate me, especially during lockdown, to go out and get my errands done in the morning or in the early afternoon, so I can use my evening to perhaps work on things around the house or work on my homework. Next, I would say that the food definitely took me by surprise. I was kind of expecting the food to not be as great because a lot of people usually kind of roast British culture for perhaps not being especially adventurous with their food, but I've really enjoyed the food that I've had here. I really enjoy a nice English breakfast or a Sunday roast, and we're also really lucky to have a lot of diverse places around us that serve different kinds of foods from different places, and I've been really happy with how much I've been able to explore when it comes to cuisine. So lastly, one thing that I heard a lot when I was moving over was that the people were very unfriendly and they were really stuck up, and it was going to be hard to find a place as an American. And of course there are a couple of unspoken rules about not speaking on the tube and things like that, but for the most part people have been very kind, and I have considered myself very lucky to be here and to get to meet so many wonderful people, not only from London but also from all over the world.
So thank you very much, Kaylin. So I hope that gives you a little taster about some of the experiences and some of the things that our current students, our current international students are thinking in coming to London. We know that your experience in your studies, not just the course that you study, but your experience actually coming to live here in Kingston with us and live in London, and often move away from your home country and your hometown. That's quite a daunting concept. So I would just like to remind you that there are going to be lots and lots of opportunities for you to find out more about what our current students are thinking and the current things that they've been experiencing. So when you signed up to this webinar, I hope that you indicated that we are able to send you emails after this event, and we will be doing so, and we're going to be telling you about our international events and virtual open days, and the opportunities that you can hear some more about Kingston, our courses, and of course hear directly from our current students. They are absolutely our stars, our ambassadors, and I say we take great pride in the things that they achieve, and they are often very willing to talk about what Kingston has done and how they're enjoying their studies with us. So next I'm going to talk a little bit about accommodation and commuting. So again, we are aware that our postgraduate students are going to be in a situation, you are a little bit older than our undergraduate students, and you even if you're coming to London for the first time, you're going to be a little bit more thoughtful about where you stay and the options that you have in terms of your living situation. That's something that's very important to get right, and something I think quite rightly is a little bit daunting for people coming to study in London. London is a very big and very complex and generally quite an expensive place to live, so there's all the more reason why you should think and look to get your accommodation options right. What I will say is that Kingston University is going to be there to support you in understanding what your options are, and supporting you in getting the accommodation that you need. We have many of our postgraduate students who come and stay in our university halls of residence. That's quite common. If you are coming to London for the first time, you're not going to be looking for a flat separately. But like I say, that's really down to you and kind of working out what works best for your situation. We have a number of places at our 75 Penryn Road, which is right in the centre of Kingston, and they all have a kind of self-contained flats, which are highly suitable for students who are looking to live close and to get the most from their experience at university, but don't want to live with other undergraduate students. So many of our postgraduate students also live in private accommodation, so they look privately for houses and flats to share, buddying up with other Kingston students and other students outside of Kingston. This can often give a greater flexibility in your choice and your facilities, as well as your location and budget. So regardless of your choice to live in university, in university halls of residence, or whether you choose to live privately, Kingston University is going to be supporting you through that process. So I would highly recommend that you do have a look. If you are interested in coming to Kingston, you can have a look at the advice for private letters, as well as information about all the accommodation options that you have. If you choose not to live on campus, you'll be joining about 50% of our other students in a very large community who choose to live off campus. Kingston, we are really, really proud that we have a highly diverse student body, and we mean diverse really in a huge number of ways. So we have students from all over the world, from many different countries, from many different cultures and backgrounds, and also living in many different situations. What this does for Kingston is it gives us the opportunity to harness the ideas and the talents and the drive of students in all these different situations. And actually, Kingston is one of the universities in the UK that has the largest number of either commuting or privately renting students, which means that if you choose to live in halls of residence, there's a contained community that you can be a part of. You'll live close to you live with flatmates that are Kingston University students and live in a building that is full of Kingston University students. But if you choose to live privately, you're going to be perhaps living in a shared flat or house, or even on your own. But you will be part of an explicit community of private renters and commuting students. And Kingston do a number of things, as well as the Kingston Union of Kingston Students do a number of things to invite new students who don't live in halls to become part of the community. They run events and social activities so that you can really feel part of Kingston University and really get to know other students who share your interests. That's really, really important. So if you don't need to stay on campus, we also have services to support you, including flexi stay programs. So sometimes students take the opportunity to book rooms at times they need, and sometimes stay on a night-to-night basis. So that's just one of the examples of the types of things Kingston run to make sure that you are in a position to be able to get the most from your studies, regardless of the situation that you're in. So next we're going to play just a quick video on our accommodation options, and hopefully it'll tell you a little bit more about what you can expect in our Kingston halls of residence.
Welcome to Kingston University's accommodation. We're excited to show you around. Where you live while you're at uni plays a really important part of your overall experience. Here at Kingston, we've got 6 different halls of residences, and they each have their own unique character. All of them have free on-site Wi-Fi, laundrette facilities, on-site management and 24-hour security. So whether you like to party, prefer a chilled atmosphere overlooking the river, or want to be able to wake up 15 minutes before class, we've got something for everyone. The cost of our halls vary in price, so you'll be able to find something to suit your budget. Every one of our halls of residences are situated around our hometown, Kingston upon Thames. And Kingston really does have it all going on. You can shop till you drop in one of London's biggest shopping destinations, relax and enjoy the amazing views on the banks of the River Thames, or take a walk through our 2 royal parks and watch the deer roaming. By night, Kingston transforms into a lively and energetic hotspot for students from all across London, with its vast array of cafes, restaurants, bars, nightclubs and live gigs. We're also consistently rated as one of London's safest boroughs. Central London is just a short train ride away for those who want to experience the museums, galleries, culture, nightlife, excitement and buzz of a major world capital. and yet it's far enough away so that you still have the advantages of a slower pace of life. And now for the best bit. Let's take a peek at each of our halls of residences and the rooms. First up, we have 75 Penryn Road. These halls are located in the very heart of Kingston and on the doorstep of our Penryn Road campus. The modern single bedrooms are furnished with built-in study area, bookshelves and a wardrobe. Each room has a modern ensuite bathroom that includes your own shower pod. Students share the state-of-the-art kitchen, and there's also a huge common room with seating, study and TV areas which provide the perfect environment to relax with friends in. We also have self-contained studios available with ensuite facilities and your own kitchenette. Next up, Clay Hill. Clay Hill is one of our biggest halls of residences, and during term time it's home to over 700 students. There is a lively and social atmosphere here, but also plenty of green space so you can relax. Clay Hill is ideal for students studying at Penryn Road or Knights Park campus. Each of the single bedrooms include a desk and ensuite bathroom facilities. You'll have access to the shared social area with a TV and games room. Yep, that could be you, ping-ponging around, living your best life. Next up, Middle Mill. This accommodation has a quiet riverside location. It's a stone's throw from Kingston School of Art and only a 5-minute walk from Kingston Town Centre. Middle Mill is home to over 200 of our students. Each single bedroom has its own study area, a ton of personal storage space and a wash basin. You and another 7 students would share the communal kitchen, dining and relaxation area. Now we welcome you to our Seething Wells accommodation, which has a beautiful location on the River Thames in Surbiton. Again, this is ideal for students studying at Penryn Road and Knights Park campuses. There's lots of large green social spaces surrounding the halls. The single ensuite bedrooms come complete with a study desk. And all the kitchen, dining and relaxation areas are shared by 6 students. And our final destination is over on our beautiful leafy Kingston Hill campus. This is where you'll find our Walkden and Chancellor's halls of residences. It's the perfect option if you'll be studying at either Kingston Hill or Roehampton Vale. Single ensuite study rooms are fully furnished with a desk and chair, bookshelves and a wardrobe. It's only a short walk through campus to our library, making this accommodation perfect for late night study sessions. And as usual, the communal kitchen, dining and relaxation areas are shared by the students in the flat. So that's Kingston's accommodation options. Now don't forget, it's over to you to get creative and decorate your room how you want it. So if you want to check out these rooms again at your own pace, find out about the prices and the booking process, head on over to our website and search for accommodation. Welcome to
So thank you very much, Lucy. So I really hope that that was a good opportunity for you to understand a little bit how our university halls and halls of residence work and what you can expect there. I think the main thing to take home today is that there are many different possibilities and many different options to suit your needs and how you want to live. Some people will prefer self-contained flats, and some people will be happy to share facilities a little bit more. I think what I would advise everyone is to think a little bit also about where it is they want to be in Kingston. It can be quite overwhelming. Lots of students who kind of will ask us, which hall should I choose, and we often give a very unhelpful answer, which is which would you prefer, and that's something only you can decide. But that's really because regardless of where you are, the different halls will offer you different things. Some will be closer to your course, some will be closer to Kingston town, some will be larger spaces, some will be cheaper, some will be more expensive. So it's really about finding the hall that's going to suit your needs there. What I will do now today, though, is reassure you that we are going to be here and talking you through that process. Getting your accommodation option right is going to be really important, both for getting the most out of your study and enjoying your time in Kingston and in London. So there'll be many more opportunities for you to do that and find out more what the halls have to offer, but also talk to Kingston staff, talk to current students, and be guided through that process. So, so moving on to some key stats about Kingston, because I wouldn't be doing my job if I didn't give you a little bit more detail about what Kingston has achieved and what we have to offer. So we are delighted and extremely proud to be ranked in the top 250 young institutions across the Times higher education. Kingston is a relatively young university, but we have an extremely strong reputation that has been growing and is continuing to grow in terms of our impact and in terms of what our students have been able to achieve. It's a really fun thing for me to do, someone working in student recruitment for a university, to talk about how proud we are of what our students do. We take credit for all of the fantastic things that they achieve. But I don't have time today to go through all the stories, but there are so many examples of the fantastic things students have done. But hopefully these stats will talk to you a little bit about what Kingston and our students have been able to do. So Kingston has an unrivaled reputation for students starting their own business. We've recently been shortlisted for awards and ranked as in the UK as a UK higher institution for graduate startup companies. So the most recent analysis was done for students graduating in 2020-21, placing Kingston in the top spot for offering graduate opportunities and offering the opportunity for graduate to create their own startup companies. So we encourage all of our students to explore their creativity and their ideas and have an enterprising attitude towards their study. Kingston is also one of the safest boroughs in London, so it is a spacious and safe and friendly place to live, especially compared to kind of busier, more central areas. And we have a diverse community at Kingston and welcome students from over 148 countries across the world. Kingston University is one of only 8 universities in the UK to be recognised by the Race Equality Charter, and that's in recognition for the processes we have in place to assure race equality and also for the outcomes. So in terms of students joining Kingston and how well they do on their degree and how well they do after, Kingston University consistently has higher performance from students from ethnic minority backgrounds, and that's something again we're very proud of. 70% of the university's research submissions was rated as world leading or internationally excellent in 2021, marking Kingston University is really an excellent place to be to study, because you're going to be learning from and working alongside teachers and researchers who have an internationally renowned expertise in their subject. Kingston University has also been ranked as one of the top 60 institutions in the UK in the latest Guardian University league tables. So we're very, very proud of that. And this year we topped national tables for subjects including interior design, where we were named second in the country, and for fashion, textiles, mental health and nursing, as well as being the top ranked London institution in fashion and textiles and mental health or nursing. So we're extremely proud of those achievements as well. Kingston was also top in the capital for children's nursing, graphic design and midwifery, which respectively came 5th, 8th and 11th in terms of the national table. Kingston University was positioned 11th in the UK and 2nd in London for architecture and forensic science, and 3rd in London for film production and for photography. And I'm going to mention one more notable subject area, which saw Kingston rank 13th overall and 2nd in London for general nursing, 14th in the UK and 2nd in London for media and film studies, and 16th nationally for both economics and education. So if you are interested in Kingston, please do find out more about our various subjects, and the course information you will see on the website, but you'll often see us boast about those rankings, because we are very, very pleased, because it recognises the level of education our students are receiving in this subject, and how much they're learning, and again what they are going to be going on to do. So finally, I'm going to be talking about work placements. So Kingston University is one of few universities to offer an optional work placement while studying a postgraduate degree. And this is very popular for our international students, and actually works very, very well for all of our students, because it really gives you the opportunity to put into practice what you're learning and demonstrate to employers that you can really do the job. So it's an excellent opportunity in terms of what you learn, but also in what you can show after you graduate. Most of our courses at postgraduate level offer the optional integrated work placement program, and it's designed to help you gain valuable practical industry experience and offers the opportunity to manage real life situations in the workplace. Again, this is extremely valuable, because employers are always looking for people who can think on their feet, and if you can give examples of when you worked in for a real problem for an employer, it's going to be a really powerful way to show that you're going to be good in that role. Throughout the work placement program, you'll gain an insight into the particular industry for the role, as well as your chosen career path, and take on responsibilities to help you gain confidence in that. You're going to be generating transferable skills as well, not just in the industry that you're working in, but are going to be valuable for work in general, including networking and growing your contacts, as well as things like communicating, presenting, and getting across your point of view and your new ideas. We have a very well-respected careers and employability team who support you in your search for your work placement and ensure that the placement meets your requirements at course level. So what that means in practice is that we will only send you on a placement which is going to first and foremost is going to help you learn something that is relevant and applicable to your chosen subject, but also is going to help you to develop your skills, your reputation, and your career goals. And again, your tutors and your representative from the careers employability team will make sure that that's the case, and you really get the most from that placement. We're going to be providing you access to a range of contacts we have in organizations. We've had students go out and do workplace placements in the past and really do very, very well. So there are a number of employers who are very happy to come back to Kingston and to recruit Kingston students for work placement roles. So finally, I'm going to be talking about campus and facilities, because again, this is something that we're very pleased at Kingston in the range of specialist facilities and the investment that we've had in our campus. Construction in London and Kingston never seems to stop, and we've had a number of new build and renovation projects. We've been investing £118 million to transform facilities to provide first-class teaching and learning experiences across the university. We've already completed several development projects, including in the Kingston School of Art at our Knights Park campus, and opening our landmark new building townhouse on Penryn Road in the centre of Kingston. This is a building that you can see here. It is a award-winning. It is the RIBA RIBA award-winning townhouse building, and it is a gateway to the university for residents and businesses. It's designed and by Grafton Architects, who also have nominations for the Sterling Architecture Prize, and it is centred on transforming the learning experience for students. So as well as being a very beautiful building, it is incredibly functional and really designed for our students to get the best experience, a beautiful and interesting place to work and to study, but also to be able to work in facilities and to work in spaces that are going to give you what you need to get the most out of your studies. The townhouse building is also the winner of the EU Prize for Contemporary Architecture. This is the Mies van der Rohe Award, and it's the highest accolade in European architecture. So in addition to that, our major refurbishment at Kingston School of Art, our Mill Street building and our Knights Park campus, really I think shows the vision for our future as a school and education, and will help further our outstanding reputation and competitive edge in the Kingston School of Art in terms of the quality of education offered, and a big part of that is having suitable spaces and really award-winning and forward-looking facilities that allow students to get their hands on and practice within the subject and with the tools and the work that they need to do within those subjects. So many of our courses are taught in partnership with other organisations, with companies and museums throughout London, meaning as part of your learning, you'll have field trips to places like the British Library, to museums, theatres, as well as other historic buildings. So for example, our journalism students have taken trips to the BBC and the Houses of Parliament to help them prepare for future careers as journalists. Our design students have had the opportunity to create live projects at the London Design Museum and with organisations such as the Royal Academy. In addition to that, Kingston's location and proximity to London means that we have frequently visiting speakers and leading academics from international organisations on campus to complement your learning. I think that this is a really important point again about studying in Kingston and studying in London, because as you come on to postgraduate study, you really are going to be learning at the highest level within your subject. I mean, when we talk about postgraduate education, you are learning the most detailed and the most focused within a specific subject that really is possible. So as you develop your ideas and your studies within postgraduate, you are increasingly going to be expected to push the bounds of that knowledge, to generate new ideas and to discuss with world leading and frontier leading ideas and knowledge within your subject. So being located in London really it just creates it just reduces the barrier for being able to access presentations, conferences, guest speakers, all of those things. But Kingston we work extremely hard to make sure that as many of those are brought to Kingston, and you will see a number of examples of that throughout your study. So I gave you one final example of this type of thing. So Studio KT1 is a creative agency run by Kingston School of Art and Kingston University, and that gives students the opportunity to work on commercial briefs, giving real world experience, getting paid to work alongside their studies. So they help set up work placements with creative industries within London, and really help you get meaningful work experience as well as reputation for that. So thank you everyone for coming through that with us and for listening. that is a lot to think about, and there's a lot to take in. There's so much we would want to tell you about postgraduate study. Really, it is a more or less infinite list. So I really hope this is just the first stage of you finding out about Kingston and finding out about studies. In a moment, we're going to open up to our Q&A session, but I just want to remind you that the next opportunity to book a postgraduate open event is going to be on Wednesday, the 1st of March. So please use that code to link to our website, or you can just go on the internet and write Kingston Open Days. You'll come through to the website where you can book your place for that. And please do register if you're interested in finding out about more. Especially we're interested in talking to you about the courses and the subjects that we have at Kingston. Today I've only really been able to talk about some examples, a little bit about the facilities and a little bit about the reputation and things like that. But what really matters for postgraduate study is finding the course that's really going to be right for you. It's going to take you in the direction you want to go, and the specific course is going to be different for everyone. So please do keep in touch. We will be in touch to invite you to open days, but if you want to do that, you can do that on our website here. If there are any further questions outside of this, please do use the emails there. So for UK inquiries, you can use the email there, ukinquiries@kingston.ac.uk. For international, we'd refer you to my colleagues in the international team at international.ac.uk. I say please don't hesitate to be in touch if you have any questions whatsoever about Kingston, about coming to London, about starting your studies, or about your course. We would be absolutely delighted to help you there. So at that point then, let's move on to the questions. I can see we have had some questions coming in. So thank you very, very much for those. But can I please put a shout out if you have been holding your questions, please use the Q&A to pop those in, and we will be working through those and hopefully answering any other burning questions that you may have.
Thank you, James. Thanks for your time. And apologies if anyone had any technical issues there viewing that or watching that. This will be on demand, so you will have the edited version, which will have no technical issues in there. But thank you for powering through anyway, James. It was a very well delivered session. For the time being, we'd just like to welcome on our podcast listeners as well. This will be going across our Spotify, our Amazon channels as well. So we'd like to welcome in Alison and Tadu as well, who are representatives within the recruitment team at Kingston University. Welcome to you both. So we'll start with some of the questions that have come in before the session, because inevitably these are people that have thought long and hard about their questions. So I want to start with what it's like to live in Kingston, the feel around the city and the vibe. There's many boroughs that you go to around London and around major cities that can feel quite very studenty. Is Kingston one of those places, and therefore is there cultures for everyone there?
Yeah, what a lovely question. I like that question. It to an extent, I think the nuance in that question is that Kingston is not a student town. It is a town that is part of London, and as such it is connected and kind of shares a population and a commuter belt, and shares people coming and going from all parts of London, as well as being Kingston its own town. Kingston University plays a big part in that town and the community. So the university is involved with things going on with the local community, as well as the student population, making up a relatively small but significant part of that. I think what you will find as a student in Kingston is that there are definitely going to be strong pockets where lots of students go. So many students will spend a lot of their time socializing with other students and going to student-led events and to nights out, or to various things that are going on. But at the same time, again, being part of London and being part of Kingston means that you're going to be part of a community that has a very wide range of interests. Kingston is actually quite well thought of and respected in terms of music. So we have a number of venues offering live music, as well as the record shops and things like that. So many people in London come to Kingston to take advantage of that. So that's just one example of how those areas overlap. So it may be that you are interacting with other students, maybe not from Kingston, but I think you'll find that that depending on what you're looking for, it can feel studenty in some areas, but not studenty in others.
Yeah, and James, I want to elaborate further on your point that you made halfway through. You know, you're in London. You're not in the heart of London, you're on the outskirts, if you like, but to get to Waterloo is 25 minutes on a train from Kingston. You know, you've got other major universities not too far away. If some of your friends have gone to those universities, or it might be that you make friends within the community that go to those unis as well. I think that's important, because sometimes you can go to one university and it can feel quite difficult if you don't settle in well. But that surely has to be a huge pro to go into a London university, never mind Kingston.
Yeah, absolutely. That's an excellent point. And I think for someone who doesn't live in London, that can be quite hard to understand just how close you are and how well connected you are from different parts. And I mean, as you develop your journey into postgraduate studies and think more closely about that, you know, you may come and visit us in person, or you may start to kind of look in a little bit more detail again about where precisely you're going to live, where your course precisely is located. But I would encourage anyone who isn't familiar with London to look at some of the journeys that can take place, and you will often see organizations, institutions talk about the time, how far it is 25-minute away from the center of London. That really is true. That's not 25 minutes twice a day. If you hop on the train, that's show up at the station. The trains are every few minutes. Yes. So it is the case that Kingston students have, their lifestyle includes all of the things that London has to offer. I mean, but also being in Kingston where we are, it is slightly quieter, more safe, and in my opinion, it's more pleasant than many other parts of London. There's
something for everyone. You mentioned in your presentation earlier about the two national parks. I think you got Richmond Park. Remind me of what the other one is.
It's Wimbledon Common.
Wimbledon Common. So yeah, you know, there's something there for everyone. And I think that if you're a student and you're into the more relaxing scene, like you mentioned there, it is quieter. If you want the hustle and bustle of a busy city in a busy town, you can go into Kingston. The nightlife's great. You know, there's something to do for everyone. Can I talk about, in terms of accommodation, in your presentation, you had quite a lengthy video talking about the accommodation, how important that is to you guys. Is it affordable? How does a student go about choosing? And you know, when a student is choosing their accommodation, what should they be looking for, in particular in Kingston?
Yeah, this is another really common question we get. Alison, I think maybe that's something you can talk a little bit more about.
So yeah, there's lots of different types of accommodation available at Kingston. It's definitely worth heading over to our website to check out the different halls and what they offer. There's various halls for different budgets. And as James said, many students do choose to live in halls, but we also have students that choose to rent in the private sector as well. And we have a great accommodation team who can help you if you have any issues finding somewhere. A lot of students tend to join our Facebook group ahead of joining, and they kind of club together and find houses to share that way. That's one way that they go about it. Another option is that, although we do have a high number of commuter students at Kingston, don't we, James? So I think it's almost 50% of our students commute into university. So and obviously with Kingston's great transport links, it makes it really easy to do that. So yeah, does that answer the question?
Yeah, I think that was going to be a very important point. James, do you want to elaborate further on that?
Yeah, I think so. No, I was just going to say, I mean, of course, now more than ever, the costs and kind of getting things worked out, that's going to be very, very important. I think I'm just going to share a little bit of my personal experience here as well in coming to London to study. I'm not going to let you guess how many years ago that was, but in many ways London has changed in a lot of ways since then, and of course got a lot more expensive, but actually this remains true, that London is a very complex place. again, this is why I spend so much time saying, please do continue to talk to us, and accommodation especially, because unfortunately there are no simple answers or simple arrangements that we can give you. We don't have, and you say you could stay here and it's very cheap and it works for everything. That's unfortunately that's not the case. That's never going to be in the case in London. But there are options, and we can help you through what those are. For those who are renting privately, there are places in London that are good, not palaces, but that are good. They are suitable and they are affordable. They are hard to find, and knowing where to look and how to find them, and also being sure that they are legitimate. That's something that someone coming to London for the first time is going to find very, very hard to get right. So that's why that advice exists within the accommodation team, and we will be running webinars around accommodation and talking a little bit more about that as you get closer to kind of making some of those final decisions. So again, my advice there is to be persistent in looking. If you don't know that you're coming to London, of course there's a limited amount that you can do, but when you look for private accommodation, you will find that there are many places that are quite unsuitable. They are just too unreasonably expensive. There's a lot of that goes on in London, but they're not the only places, and we have lots of students, and Alison says 50% of our students actually travel to Kingston, don't live on campus, and that just reflects the level of kind of effort that people make to find something that suits their circumstances. So that's I promise you, that's something that's as important to us as it is to you.
Yeah, and I just want to re-emphasize that point. I don't want to bang on the drum too much about it, but for international students, you're going to be spending 70-80% of your life in the property you're going to be in. So you've got to feel welcome, you've got to feel safe, you've got to like it. So although people might think, oh, I can sort accommodation at a later point, it's such an important facet to what is a long list of things that you need to think about when you come into London. And I would advise anyone that is watching, anyone that is thinking about joining Kingston, to speak to James, Alison, the team, because they know better than anyone. James just gave his feedback there about what happened to himself personally. So, speak to them, have a chat with them. They're there to help. They're only going to be honest about it, and they want what's right for you. So please do speak. Then the next question would be around employability. You mentioned towards the end of your presentation how you've got great links with some great businesses within London. Do you guys offer any graduate schemes? Do you offer any kind of schemes where when you're finished, I know you've got your work placement scheme, but is there anything else that you guys offer that you can say, right, okay, we enhance this student's education?
Yeah, absolutely. So of course there are a number of courses which include that placement scheme. That's something I would highly recommend. It's not going to be right for everyone, but I would very highly recommend you very least you consider that if that's part of the course that you offer. So I think that what's kind of important to get across here is that as you're learning in Kingston, we are interested in you're not just interested in your education in terms of your grade that you come out with, or your employability in terms of do you get a job right away, kind of any job. We are interested in giving you the tools you need to progress yourself and your career, and we do a number of things to make sure that happens. So within our courses, so within placements, and actually within the courses themselves, our tutors work very closely with industry contacts. So all of our subjects, they don't exist in isolation. If you want to be an architect, you need to understand how the world of architecture works. You need to understand what that practice is and how it goes. So our tutors and course leaders work very closely with industry and inviting industry speakers to speak on specialist topics, but also in helping set industry-led projects. So that's not the case, every module and every course, but it's a good example of the types of things Kingston will do. Is we will talk to industry experts about the problems and the projects that we are assigning, and often we are able to invite industry to set projects for our students. So these are interesting, these are forward-looking, and these are educationally highly effective project briefs that will allow you to learn build the knowledge and build the tools that you're going to need for that subject. But it also gives the opportunity to work on a real world problem, something that industry they're actually having a problem with, and they actually need help with. That allows you, to kind of look at the problem in that context, which is a great skill to have, a very valuable skill. But it also lets you start to build your reputation. So when you deliver the outcome of that project, there will be industry experts who know this person. They know what they're doing. They can deliver. And whether that's a case of getting a reference or actually going to work with the people you did projects for, that's extremely common. So that's just an example of how we do that. So our careers team work very closely with our students and graduates. So they help support people once they graduate to build their career, and that means really helping them find the roles and that they are going to grow in. So again, you may be looking to, after you come out of uni, it's a lot of money. You may be looking for something to just pay the bills, and that's fine. But they're going to be looking to help you capitalize on all the skills that you have. So your education, your degree, your experience, but also some of those kind of softer skills around presenting, teamwork, all of those areas. And how do you get that across to employers? That's a subtle skill, and they are going to be helping you with that. And that's just one way that they help our students come out. So in addition to that, I'd mentioned in the presentation a little bit about we have incubators for business startups. So the careers team, and we have dedicated areas within Kingston University look at particular subject as well. So again, these are again just examples of different things that Kingston do to help you grow after you study, and help you kind of make your way in the industry that you've chosen.
Super, thank you very much. At this point, I'm going to have to wrap things up. It's just gone over the 1 hour mark for the presentation. So what I want to ask is that there's been questions come in around funding, around course quality, blended learning. We have got your details, and James Allison from the recruitment team will be reaching out to you individually. So if you have any questions, please reach out to them. They will be reaching out to you in the coming days. So if you have any problems, any concerns, any issues around that at all, please email myself, Gareth, at postgradsolutions.com. But for now, James and Alison, a huge thank you for making this session happen. And again, your details will be on the follow-up email. So thank you.
Lovely. No, thank you so much, Gareth, and thank you all for listening. As I say, we are so pleased to see so many of you and your interest in Kingston. So we will be in touch, and please don't hesitate to reach out. I'm aware that the funding, this is something that's going to be very important as well, and not something we can answer on an individual basis. But please look out for your emails, because we will be talking to you about those options, and there will be more opportunities to talk to us about those things in the future as well.
Superb. A huge thank you for now, James, Alison, and Taddy in the background. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Thank you, Alison. Thank you, Taddy.
Thank
you, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.